September, it is Saturday morning. If you're still in bed, if you're still sitting on that couch, or if you're debating whether to go work out, get your ass up. Don't go work out. Go sit at the table, get your pens and papers, and it's pillow talk time. I am Dr. Shereene Idriss, a board certified dermatologist. We do this every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. where we cover a topic consisting of cosmetics, skincare ingredients, questions about procedures, medical conditions, you name it, we cover it. So if you haven't subscribed, subscribe below. And if you've never left a comment or a question, just say hello. I am a rhymer these days. So it is September. It is back to school. We're back in the city. Pumpkin spice is in the air, and I don't care if you think that's basic. And October 31st, 11:59 p.m. is about to happen in 2 months. So the Christmas tree is about to go up. This is my favorite time of year. It's really September where the fresh starts begin. And given that you guys were probably out all summer burning to a crisp, let us get your skincare in order with a fresh start. And how do you start that? Exfoliation. I recently did a YouTube live where we really dove into the basics of exfoliation. It is up on my videos, so you guys can catch it there. We talked about why chemical exfoliants are better than physical ones, because I'm not a fan of physical scrubs. Physical scrubs are not enzymatic scrubs. That could be a discussion for another day. AHAs, BHAs, and PHAs in that live. And while I was recording the live, I realized people really still don't quite understand the difference between the most common ones, which are salicylic acid and glycolic acid. So I wanted to go in deeper today and talk about the science between the two so that you guys know which one to use better for you. Because believe it or not, I see patients every day in my office. I would tell you guys like 40% of the time, people do not know which exfoliant to use and they are overusing the wrong one and their skin is not happy. So let us understand it together. Glycolic acid is, in my opinion, the star ingredient of alpha hydroxy acids, AHAs. It is the smallest one of the alpha hydroxy acids and therefore can go the deepest in your skin. It is derived from natural sources, primarily sugarcane, believe it or not. Nowadays, it is usually synthesized in a laboratory. So people are not really getting it from sugarcane anymore. Salicylic acid is a beta hydroxy acid. That is what people refer to as a BHA. So when people are saying, oh, if you can use a BHA, they're usually just talking about salicylic acid. Derived from natural sources, primarily the bark of the willow tree, Salix alba, and it can also be made in a lab, which it usually is nowadays. The primary function in skincare when you're thinking of glycolic acid or salicylic acid is exfoliation. But exfoliation is not created equal across the board. To simplify matters, and this is probably going to be the biggest conclusion of the video, but I hope you guys keep tuning in, glycolic acid is best for surface exfoliation, whereas salicylic acid is best if you have oily skin or even acne. So that is the conclusion of it, but you do have to understand there is a little bit more to it. Glycolic acid, in terms of solubility, is not oil soluble. It's not oil loving, whereas salicylic acid is oil loving. And so salicylic acid is going to be attracted to the oilier parts of your face, deep within your pores, to get in there and break up the gunk inside your pores so that your pores do not get clogged up and built up with extra oil that attracts that bacteria to promote and grow, and you then have acne. Whereas glycolic acid is better for hydration. Glycolic acid, interestingly enough, indirectly helps to promote collagen production by triggering the fibroblasts, those powerhouse cells deeper in the dermis, to start producing collagen. So when I talk about exfoliation, and let's say you're looking to exfoliate, but you want some anti-aging benefits. Again, I do not like the word anti-aging. I sadly just have to use it because it is the word that everybody understands. And if I say well-aging, you're gonna be like, what do you mean by that? No time to explain in this video. But glycolic acid has anti-aging benefits, whereas salicylic acid doesn't quite have them the same way that glycolic acid does. Primary use of glycolic is surface exfoliation. helping to buff those fine lines, helping to buff the surface of your skin, even out your skin tone. Whereas salicylic acid, its main function is to go deep into your pores, to really unclog those suckers and help you clear those suckers of the gunk that is there. So they have completely different functionalities. So when I see a 50-year-old patient come in who is really not oily using a salicylic acid, everyone uses Paula's Choice, the gray bottle. They all refer to it as the gray bottle. They're like, I'm exfoliating using the gray bottle. I'm like, yeah, but you're not oily. Why are you using a salicylic acid on your face like twice a day? Which we will talk about how often to do it for. So who is salicylic acid for? It is for people with oily skin who have acne-prone skin. It can be used by other skin types as well. And let's say you're not somebody who's super oily or super acne prone, but you want to keep things under control, you can incorporate a salicylic acid once a week into your routine to kind of keep your skin regulated. But is it something that you need every day? No. Whereas glycolic acid is much more suitable for people who have concerns of aging, sun damage, the world on their face, who are looking to have a smoother overall texture, a more even skin tone, and who are looking in the process to indirectly help themselves as they age by helping to promote collagen. There is a myth that darker skin tones cannot use glycolic acid. The reality is, if you have a darker skin tone, can you use glycolic acid? Absolutely you can. It is not going to burn your skin and it is not going to make you react in a negative way. All skin types and tones can use glycolic acid. The issue is glycolic acid, because it is the smallest, is the most aggressive, right, of the AHAs, and therefore can cause a little bit of hypersensitivity for those who are sensitive. If it causes a reaction in your skin and you are a little bit darker, you may get post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. But that is the case with any ingredient that is going to give you an irritation. Glycolic acid, because it is stronger, can maybe be a little bit more irritating. But in my experience, I usually tell people to patch test it on the side of their face a couple of times a week to see how their face responds if they are somebody who is scared of the irritation potential, and to go from there. If they do not have any irritation, knock yourself out and enjoy the benefits of glycolic acid. I was at a dinner last night with a table of makeup artists who were of darker skin tones, ranging from skin type, I would say 4 and up. And they have been using my flash mask, which we will talk about in a second, and obsessing over it. Their skin looked beautiful. The other thing that people don't realize is that this is where understanding the extent of the percentage of glycolic acid, or the salicylic acid not so much, mostly glycolic acid, is important. What percentage should you use? Glycolic acid is effective between 5 to 20%. It is harder to find nowadays in the US glycolic acid over 15%. And honestly, I think that is appropriate, because when you go higher than that, you're talking about chemical peels that are usually done under the supervision of a professional, and that can lead to complications. So you want to be a little bit careful with the percent that you're using when you're going above 15%. Interestingly enough, in Canada, for example, you're never going to find an over-the-counter glycolic acid over 10% because it is illegal. So that is a very interesting sort of country-by-country situation. 5 to 7% is what I would consider mild. So if you're super dark and you're sensitive and you're scared but you want to venture in, look for something on the lighter side in the mild section. It is suitable for people with sensitive skin. Again, I would still patch test, and I wouldn't be scared if you have a darker skin tone. Medium strength is anywhere from 8 to 10%. And these are often found in the form of toners, again, which is basically you have to understand which toner you're using and what's in it, serums, or even masks. And it's a very effective form of exfoliating for most skin types. And then I would say higher is 10 to 20 plus. And this is more significant exfoliation. It's gonna definitely have more of an oomph on your skin and a better result for your skin. You will feel the glow the next day. And I say this is more recommended for people who understand their skin and who know that they're not sensitive. Can darker skin tones use glycolic acid over 10%? Absolutely. But just make sure that you're not sensitive. And like with anything, honestly, if you are worried, always patch test first. Save yourself weeks and months of headaches by using 1 to 3 days to test a product. Definitely worth its weight in gold. With regards to salicylic acid, right? The FDA in the US has only approved over-the-counter acne products between 0.5% to 2%. When you see salicylic acid, it is always going to be helpful for acne, but not all products are going to be able to claim it. Why? Because of something called the drug fact label. If they want to claim acne, they have to go through this process to get a drug fact label on their packaging to say that it's good for acne. But if you find a salicylic acid product without a drug fact label, does that mean that it won't be good for acne? No, it will still be good for acne. They just cannot use the word acne because then it is called a medical condition. So it depends how much money a company has or is willing to spend to get that drug fact label on their panel. But from 0.5% to 1%, suitable for daily use, I'm not worried about it. It's very light. You're not gonna be over exfoliating your skin, over stripping your skin of its natural oils. Higher, from 1 to 2%, it's usually found in leave-on treatments and in cleansers. And honestly, I don't love when people overuse this, and we could talk about that in a second. And it does also depend on your climate, how humid it is, and how oily you are. So, coming back to sun sensitivity, glycolic acid can make you a little bit more sun sensitive because it is the strongest. So now you guys understand that. If you're a darker skin type, and even if you're not, everybody should be wearing sunscreen the next day after exfoliating. Which reminds me, I like that you guys exfoliate at night, not in the morning. Why? Because after you've washed your face, after you've taken your makeup off, that's when you want to get rid of all of those dead skin cells. That's when you want to go deep into your pores to help unclog them. When you do it in the morning before makeup, yeah, your makeup might go on smoother. So if you have a red carpet event, sure, there are exceptions to the rule. But on a daily basis, why are you cleaning the base of your face only to add more shit onto your face? Does not make sense. Salicylic acid, in terms of sun sensitivity though, is also going to make you a bit more sun sensitive. So regardless of whichever one you're using, definitely you have to wear a sunscreen. If you cannot tolerate glycolic acid, but you're looking for a little bit more anti-aging benefits, this is where lactic acid is a good alternative. It is the next best for surface exfoliation. And then you have their cousins, which are known as the PHAs, the polyhydroxy acids. You have something called glucanolactone. I will link a really old video I've done when I think I had COVID on exfoliation below, so you guys can watch that. In terms of salicylic acid, what can you use as an alternative if you cannot tolerate it? You can actually use a AHA, interestingly enough, the weakest of the AHAs, mandelic acid. Mandelic acid is also oil soluble, unlike glycolic acid or lactic, and it can go into your pores. It is just very big and therefore great for people with sensitive skin. So if you have oily skin or acne prone skin and you can't tolerate sal acid, try mandelic acid. So let's talk about some glycolic acid product recommendations that I have here, and then we're gonna hit on some salicylic acid product recommendations. So first and foremost, obviously, I have an interest in this. This is my company. It is my product line. I love it, and I use this 3 to 4 times a week going into winter, and I do it at night. This is the Pillow Talk Derm Flash Mask, which is an acid-based resurfacing mask. I will show you guys. It is a beautiful pink texture just like that, and it retails for $48. It has 3 main ingredients: glycolic acid, at 15%. So I went the highest that I could possibly go while combining it with lactic acid as well as tranexamic acid to help even out your skin tone. The reason I made it as a mask, right, as a gel mask, is twofold. One, very honestly, I wanted to make it harder for you guys to use so you don't overuse it. But 2, I wanted you guys to figure out how long you can have it on your face for. So if you're very sensitive, if you're a darker skin type and you're sensitive or you're scared but you want glycolic acid, leave it on for 5 minutes, then wash it off. If you're someone who's like, I can tolerate this, I will never publicize this on the website or on the brand's side. I actually put it an hour before I go to bed from head to my tits and go to sleep an hour later. I don't wash it off. I leave it on overnight, and the next day in the shower when I wash my face is softer than a baby's bottom. It is like I cannot stop touching myself. And people are like, why are you touching your chest at work? And I'm like, I don't know. But it's so soft. So anyway, love. I made it. I'm obviously biased. If you want something less intense, L'Oreal has their glycolic acid serum at 10%. It has a long playtime. It is honestly kind of expensive for 33 bucks for just glycolic acid when I thought of like how much I put in here, but it is a beautiful basic glycolic acid serum. I do like it because it goes a long way. I like the texture and it gives your skin a nice sheen. It also has aloe extract in it, which helps a little bit for soothing benefits. I hate the dropper. Then you have Bubble, which has a combination of AHA plus PHA. This is for $18. It is also a mask like that. They do not disclose the percentage, so it kind of stinks in a weird way. It smells like rotten cucumbers, but it has a nice texture and it is only $18. The issue with me is that they don't disclose the percentage. So that makes me automatically assume that it is lower in percentage and probably lower than 10%. It's a combination of the two. So I am assuming, again, that it is better for people with sensitive skin. It does have azelaic acid in it, which is interesting if you have rosacea. So it is something that is interesting to look into. You're not going to break the bank and worth testing on a spot if you're sensitive. And then obviously cheap, ordinary, $13. It's a toning solution. It's very watery and it comes in a weird dropper. At least it's a nice dropper. It's a scientific dropper. At least it's not a dropper this way. But this is 7% glycolic acid. So this is great for beginners. I will also tell you guys, if you have dark other areas or even, in other parts of your body, like your feet, your knees, wherever, you can use this as well. Would I recommend this for the scalp treatment that I see all over TikTok? There's better options than glycolic acid for the scalp because your scalp is usually oily. So now you know which one to use on your scalp, not necessarily this. So those are glycolic acids. In terms of sal acids, everyone talks about the gray bottle by Paula's Choice. Sure, this is 2% salicylic acid. It does not claim acne because there is no drug fact. It is great if you have acne or oily prone skin. Panoxyl is another one. If I had to compare the two, they're very similar. They both come in bottles with droppers. One has a drug fact, one doesn't. One retails for $34, one retails for $10. This one has green tea. This one has spirulina. I will tell you, very, 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 very similar. For sal acid, this probably does the job, but people love this. I love Paula's Choice too. I'm not endorsed by the brand or paid by any of these people. So the interesting thing though is Paula's Choice says use once or twice a day after cleansing and toning, whereas Panoxyl says start with application once daily and increase slowly. They also make sure to say always finish with SPF 30 after using this product. So I prefer the directions of the Panoxyl. I don't think you should use this twice a day. You can use it once a day at night if you're somebody especially who's very oily. Now, if you live in a very humid environment and you're very oily, this is where exceptions can be made and you can use it twice a day. But again, get to know your face and see how your face responds. In terms of a cleanser, Hervé has their acne control cleanser, which retails for $18.99. I don't have it here, but Neutrogena also has their salicylic acid cleanser. Skin Fix over here has their 2% acne cleanser for 35 bucks. The directions kind of vary on each. When it comes to cleansers, let it sit on your face for 5 or 10 minutes before washing it off. I actually use it like a mask and then I go do whatever I'm doing, then come back and wash it off. And then you even have spot treatment. So if you have a juicy pimple coming up or you know something is irritated, put it on the spot. It will help dry that baby and that sucker out. You could use this on a spot twice a day, no problem, because that is a very inflamed area. And then you have products that combine AHAs and BHAs. So you have products that combine glycolic acid and salicylic acid. And this is people who are oily, who want some anti-aging benefits, and who want to have some smoother looking skin. So Skin Better Science has theirs. This is very expensive. Don't shoot the messenger. At $115. It's a triple acid blend of glycolic, lactic, and salicylic acid. It comes in individual packages, which I will tell you I like when I travel because I'm not worried about any spillage. Is it a lot of waste? Yes, it is a lot of waste. So it's not something I necessarily use on the daily. Same goes for Dr. Dennis Gross Alpha Beta Peel Pads for 92 bucks. It's really expensive and you hold on to those pads for real life because you do not want to lose them. But this has glycolic acid, lactic acid, and malic acid in it, as well as salicylic acid. So those are combo acid pads that are great for travel, or if you go to the gym and you're on the go and you want to use something without having to worry too much about containers, or you don't have the time to sit around with a mask. So there you have it. That is a deep dive between sal acid and glycolic acid. If you ever see me in my practice and you have dry skin and I ask you what exfoliation are you using, you are no longer allowed to say the gray bottle by Paula's Choice because it will not be suitable for you. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, any comments whatsoever, let me know in the comment section below, and I will see you guys next week. Have a beautiful Saturday.